Before the COVID-19 pandemic, it was said only about 6% of Americans worked from home. Since then, there's been a major shift, a boom, if you will, in remote jobs and remote workers. Remote work does come with benefits and some drawbacks. Here to talk more about that is our friend, Dr. Frieda Birnbaum, a research psychologist and psychotherapist that we always check in with on Friday morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for coming on the show this morning, Dr. Birnbaum.
Thank you so much, Zach. Always a pleasure.
Okay, so talk to us. This whole shift, right? This evolution of work and how it's shifted a lot to remote workers. Just this week, major companies announcing come the start of 2025, they have to be back in the office.
You know, it's interesting because there are perks and then there are drawbacks. But out of a survey of 3,175, something like that, people, they found that they are slacking on the job. I mean, half of these workers are actually doing housework, which means they're cleaning the floor, they're doing laundry, they're doing dishes or whatever that takes to get the house clean. So it's not a bad deal. You get a clean house and you get paid at the same time. And then a third of these workers actually leave the house. Would you believe that? They leave the house and they go out and they go shopping for food, shopping for clothing. They go to the laundromat, whatever they need to do to take care of themselves. I think that's more than what I do when I'm not working. So we have this whole different type of community. 21% of these workers are on social media and 14% are doing online shopping. And get this one, 3%, not that much, but they're actually taking showers. I just hope they don't bring the cell phones in with them. But, you know, and what's really amazing here is that 49% of executives, while they're doing conference calls and people are waiting to hear what they have to say, are on social media and they're doing online shopping. So it's really an epidemic in itself right there.
Well, listen, some of them I'm hearing are even on golf courses, right? Enjoying their days on golf courses. I don't care what they do. As long as they have KPRC2 playing, I think we're good.
Yes.
I think
Well, maybe they do. They're watching TV as well. I mean,
right?
I have them come into my office, Zach, and they're flopping on the couch there. They're supposed to be working or they're watching TV, whatever they want to do. They seem to get away with it.
Yeah. I do feel, though, this whole, when we talk about time and evolution and different revolutions that we've gone through, I do believe, or I did believe at one time, especially during the pandemic, that this was the evolution, the revolution of our time when it came to work, right? Throughout the decades, we've seen different things take place, and this shift was dramatic. And I think it speaks to the different generations of workers, right? And how we've adapted our lives to technology that can bring us from point A to point B in a matter of seconds in real time, whereas they didn't have those capabilities, say, 20 years ago.
That's absolutely true. You know, we're talking about 26% of millennials, and I get this one, they're actually napping. They're taking naps as opposed to 16% of Generation X's. So, you know, it's taken on a whole new meaning. You can get a nap. And then we're looking at 19% of the Generation Z, Gen Z, are actually doing another job at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's comparing that to, let's say, I want to get my numbers right, we're talking about 2% Generation X, 1% boomers.
Yeah.
So they're really out there leading the way. And then Gen Z, 31%, as we just spoke about, they're actually going on vacations. I had a patient who was on his boat for 2 weeks and getting paid for it as well. So you can see them on the beach, you can see them wherever they want to be. They're not in the location that they say they're supposed to be in.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who either have remote jobs or hybrid jobs, which requires them to go into the office a few days a week or a few days per pay period, whatever it be. And I know a major struggle among friends who work fully remote is that they miss out on that socialization aspect, that relationship building process that comes natural to people who have to go into a brick and mortar place. They're not having that interaction with colleagues who perhaps would otherwise become friends, right? So there's a big socialization component that's automatically gone with these remote jobs.
Yes, that's true. But then again, we have to look at the positive side as well, which means you don't spend money on clothing and on transportation,
Gas,
eating out
fuel, yeah.
lunch, talking to people you really don't like about things you don't really want to talk about. And then you're getting home. You're home already, actually. You can have dinner with your family. You can exercise in the middle of the day. So there are a lot of perks to that. But yes, it's true that the expenses that bosses save are even more enormous because they don't have to pay for the office rent. They don't have to pay for supplies, for secretaries. So that's the positive part of it. But you're right. You know, the other part of missing out on being there physically is the socialization, is getting together after work, going to parties, celebrating, giving gifts. That's the colorful part that really is missing. So I just wanted to ask you, which would you prefer?
I would, if I given the choice, I think a solid hybrid option would be beneficial, especially when it comes to quality of life in 2024. That would be my preference. But yeah, that's
So to do both, you'd like to be,
yeah,
you'd
yeah,
like
a
to be
good
where you are.
happy medium. Yeah.
Happy. What would you do when you're at home or you're in another space?
Of
What would
course,
that be?
work.
I like to put you on the spot. You know
Of
that.
course,
That's the fun part
work.
about
I would
this.
be working at all times, all 8 hours of those hours. I'd be
Be
working.
working so hard without lifting your head to
First
make
one in,
sure
last one out. Yeah,
you give them more
absolutely.
than what they ask for. Is that
You got
correct?
it. You've got
Well,
it.
then they have to do that for you.
You're
They're
my
going to get a
agent,
lot out of
hired.
that.
We've got this. Okay,
Yeah.
Dr. Birnbaum, we are out of time. I'm getting a
That's
hard
true.
wrap from our producers, but as always, thank you very much. We do
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much.